Welcome back to part 3. So we're going to pick up where we left off from part 2. Here we are at about 4:24 in the morning. I wanted to play, there's nothing, terribly interesting about this, except I want to just reference how, I don't know how common this is, but I record these, what I think are dogs, but I think these are coyote, or this is a coyote. Maybe it's a hybrid between, it sounds like a poodle barking, except for this little high thing right here. So I'm going to play this. It sounds just like a regular old dog just barking away, except that it will go up into that real high-pitched coyote kind of whine. But I wanted you to hear this because I thought it was a dog, and it took me a while to kind of realize that no, this is how a coyote barks. Sounds like a poodle. And then here comes that high-pitched whine again. Isn't that crazy? And when I say poodle, I mean a little miniature poodle. Okay, so now that we got that out of the way, this next marker that I've put on here was, I believe it's this real low thud. Not sure how well it's going to transfer, but let's listen. It really sounds like a hit, maybe on a something on the ground. Kind of like a whack. Okay. Now, here we are. And just in case, for some reason, you haven't watched part 1 and part 2, I've gone through all of these already and marked them, but there's so many of them, I don't remember what they are, so I'm just looking at the marker as we come up to them to figure out what it is. So this looks like a pretty low, around that 450, between 400 and 500 hertz. Let's listen. Tree knock. So as you can also see, we've got this guy right there. We back it up a little bit for context. Here again. So we've got what kind of sounds like a tree knock. Then we've got a branch break, and then probably an acorn that falls. So listen to this again. Maybe this isn't a tree knock. Maybe it's just a breaking branch. But let's listen again and just kind of be critical with it. I don't know. That sounds different. That first one sounds like a knock to me, like like something hitting a solid piece of wood, because you get it's a different sound. It almost kind of rings out afterwards, like a pop, whereas the other one's a little more of a break. I know that's not very descriptive, but to me it sounds very different, even though they're right at the same, they're coming from the same area. They have different sounds. I'm going to play it one more time. All right, well, you be the judge. Let's see what we've got here. I think it's going to be this right in here. All right, just kind of a thud. Hopefully when you're listening to this, you have headphones on, or you have earbuds or something, because this was recorded for headphones, individual ear speakers, basically. All right, let's look here. We've got these 3 vertical lines with a very strong low frequency. This might be our individual that keeps tapping or knocking on something. It's just crazy. In my mind, all I can picture is, you've got this this hairy humanoid thing that's squatted over. He's got a rock in his hand, or she's got a rock in her hand, and banging on something on the ground. Not like pounding, but just like trying to crack open a shell. I don't know, maybe that's my imagination getting the best of me. Scrolling along. All right, here we go. Give the computer a chance to catch up. This one might be another knock. I see kind of this vertical line here, but it's up higher, and it has a little bit of diffusion to it, so it could be more of an echo. Let's listen. Yeah, that's just kind of that gray area. It could be a branch break, it could be a knock. And when I say branch break, it could be a branch that's on the ground that gets stepped on and broken. So no telling. This kind of looks interesting here. It's probably just a little acorn hit. But let's listen to this real quick. Huh. Okay, that's really quiet. I'm not sure that I even heard that the first time. That does have a tree knock sound, but look, there's hardly anything in any other frequency other than right here at that 900, 850, 950 area. Subtle. Listen to it again. It has that pop. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of these knocks have been very, very subtle. They're clear, but they're just not the big, giant whack that you hear about. Some more low frequency lines. Yeah, it's just something close. These microphones are very sensitive, so they pick up, especially if it's close, it will pick up just about everything. All right, I'm going to zoom up here to the next marker. This looks like it could be another knock. Closer though, because I don't have the diffusion. It's a very, very defined. Yeah, I don't know what that is. That is definitely an unknown. I'm going to zoom in on the spectrogram a little bit more. So what I see here is we've got a pattern. I think those are the dogs in the background. But then we've got a pretty wide spectrum hit. And it actually looks like it would be, it looks like it would be a more of a clear hit, whereas when you hear it, it's softer sounding. kind of like a scraping hit. I don't know. Could be an animal. I mean, I'm sure it's some sort of natural thing. Okay, skipping over a lot of stuff that I didn't mark. There's so many different owls and dog barks that I try not to just mark everything. All right, that's it for this clip. So we're going to go to the next one. Getting kind of close to the end. I think I had a total of 12 audio clips out of this whole thing. All right, we had quite a few here. All right, I'm going to zoom in. Let's see if the computer can keep up with my zooming. Here we go, number 1. Okay, let's see what we've got. Sounds like a knock to me. This time it's coming from the left ear instead of the right, where everything else has been lately. Yep, another real subtle knock. Nothing earth-shattering. Skip that. So there wasn't a whole lot going on there for a while. We are at 5:22 a.m. here. So you can already see there's going to be a lot of, I don't know if this is a train, but this real red, the real low end stuff, that's going to be a rumble. So I might need to adjust my EQ to kind of get rid of some of that. But let's listen to see what we've got going on in here. Okay. Now, this is the one I really want some opinions on because it's what I'm calling the bad rooster. Again, this is 5:22 in the morning. It's certainly within the realm of when roosters are going to be out. I mean, literally roosters are out all night. It's just that this one has a very, very strange, to me, it sounds like a coyote trying to imitate a rooster. And it kind of starts here. So there's going to be several examples. And so it will get clearer. But it's definitely not close, which makes it hard to tell what it is exactly. All right, let's listen again. Okay, so this first part, very, very rooster-like. All right, the second part is the part that sounds off. That sounds like a coyote. But it's going to repeat several times. Maybe the first one is a rooster and the second one is not. Maybe they are both roosters. But we're going to get, whatever it is, it does get a little bit closer. So let's see what we've got here. Do you hear that? Its voice kind of cracks. And I'll hear that in different coyote howls. Usually toward the end. There's always some crazy coyote that's trying to, like, wants to be the last one heard, and it always does this really weird thing where its voice cracks at the end. It's actually kind of humorous. Okay, so again, very reminiscent of a rooster. But I don't know. If anybody out there has chickens and they're like, no, this is the, so-and-so rooster, then please let me know. Okay, so right there, that does not sound like a rooster. But if you look at it, we're all within that same kind of frequency range, same duration, almost the same pattern as what we've been getting with the rooster. But this right here is not a rooster. I mean, I don't think it's a rooster. Listen again. Okay, so a lot going on. Could be coyote, but it's definitely howling, right? Not rooster. These are howls. Our little rock tapper guy is still here, banging away. This right here, this is interesting. Just even the shape alone is interesting. That's a straight descent. Normally we'll have more of an arc. This one's just straight down like a slide at the park, right? It's just a whoop, almost 45-degree angle. Yeah, I don't know. It's like it's trying to sound like a rooster, and then it sounds like a coyote, and then it just kind of does its own little thing here. So yeah, maybe this is a Sasquatch. I'm not an expert on Sasquatch, so I can't say that's what it is, but maybe it is. All right, just a dog. So here we are. So as you can see, it's getting closer because it's getting louder, but we're getting more defined, kind of deeper color here. I'm going to back up just for better context. Okay, so we definitely have a coyote kind of thing going. So that could be what this is. Definitely some curve here. More curve right there. It's kind of like a little fun slide there instead of that straight 45-degree angle. Let's listen one more time. See, this one here, even this one, both of these, they don't really sound like your typical coyote until you get to the end where it starts kind of yipping. It's hard to really say what these are, but, real long howls. Real strange. And a lot going on, too, in the background, so I'm sure there's more than just one or two. There's others that are further away that I don't think we're hearing as well. Whatever it is has the dogs barking. I think this is a barred owl here. And now we're coming up to something, maybe a knock. That's pretty close. Pretty close. I don't know that that would be a knock. I'm gonna go turn that off. I think we're done with the low end stuff. One more time. I mean, that's kind of interesting. Definitely not loud. But if this is a knock here, this very well could be a response knock. Problem is that it's real close. So why would you need to knock if you're that far away? I mean, if you're that close, but who knows? I will add that the moon had already completely gone down at this time. This was like a waxing moon, so it was about half the way full. So it was coming up early and going down early. So by this point, everything should be pretty completely dark. Which maybe that's why subtle knocks close could be useful if it's really too dark to see. I'm just guessing here. Okay, looks like we got maybe another howl. Almost like a siren. This looks interesting. Okay, somebody steps on something here. Crunch. So we got some coyotes in the distance. Pretty far away, so kind of hard to really tell exactly what's going on. I think we've got more rooster coming up. Back up a little bit. Okay, that sounds like something breaking, falling, hitting the ground. And that is a big jet flying over. Okay. Let's see what we've got here. There's that howl again. Actually, I've been hearing that quite a bunch. Is that it? I guess that's it from this clip. Yeah, let's check this last one and see what we've got. There's a few. 4. I'm going to go ahead and play while I'm waiting for this to... There we go. Okay, here's our bad rooster again. So now it's closer. This is that second call. I don't know what happened in the first one, the higher one. But, I mean, listen to this. Is this really a rooster? Kind of sounded like a little knock there in the distance. All right, arguments for it being a rooster is this kind of this pattern, this continuation. That's definitely what roosters will do. I've recorded several of them. See how we've got the same pattern going on, about the same rhythm. So that's your argument that this is a rooster. The only thing that is keeping me from saying this is a rooster is it doesn't sound like one to me at the end. Let's see, this one's going to be even clearer. I mean, it's not close. It's getting closer, but it's not so close that we're getting, you know, the full spectrum of sound. The further away you go, the more that high end kind of just disappears. And that's where your clarity is going to be, is in the higher frequency. So without it, we're not getting the whole sound. So maybe that's why it sounds so strange, is that we're not getting the full spectrum of sound. But with that being said, it really sounds like its voice is, how do I describe this? So singers have what's called falsetto. And it's, this sounds like it starts in the falsetto, then it drops down to the regular voice. So it's like head voice going down to your throat voice, like a yodel. So like a knock. Bardell. That sounded like a rooster. Huh. That one is interesting, because now we've got a good, clear kind of first call, first cock-a-doodle-doo. That's the higher one. So that's kind of sounded like a rooster, but man, that doesn't look anything like it, what you would see on a spectrogram. I think I'm going to splice in, because I've definitely got some very clear roosters. So I'm going to probably splice in the edit, what a rooster actually looks like, probably like right here. Okay, so that's what a real rooster looks like, sounds like, and this is not the signature that we just saw. but it is consistent, which to me makes it a little less likely to be some sort of a cryptid. But I don't guess there's any hard, fast rule that says that cryptids aren't consistent with their howls or their vocalizations. They don't do it a lot, but when you have something as consistent and rhythmic as this, again, if they're imitating it, well, then there you go. So crazy. Okay, this looks like barred owl, just a hoo-ah. Same thing here. I don't know how close it is. Could be something trying to sound like an owl. Gosh, it's exhausting. Let's listen to this. All right, so that is close. That is a great horned owl. Or at least something trying to sound like a great horned owl. No, I think this one is for sure. Yeah, but that was a nice close one. It's kind of cool. I don't usually get a whole lot of close of the great horned owls. I think it's because they're up. They usually stay up really, really high in the trees. Kind of cool. Closer you get, the more of these kind of these overtone layers. So here you got 4 right there. They all kind of follow that same signature. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So, barred owl. Moving ahead. Thought we had another marker over here. Yeah, I think there's 3. This is close. Could be a knock. Yeah, it's real clear. You know, every time I hear it, I always second guess myself and go, you know, is that just something like an acorn that's falling? But it's got too much of a pop. No footsteps or anything afterwards. Just a really clear pop. there is definitely still something kind of walking around. That's what this, I think, is going to be. And that's, you know, more of a break. You don't get the pop with that. All right, I have one more marker here. Oh, this looks fun. Oh, this is this is going to be the screaming barred owl. It's got to be. So again, remember this. So if you're out in the woods and you hear it, you don't freak out. Gotta love the barred owl. The scary part is when you only get the first scream and then you don't get the follow-up. This part here, usually most people can figure out that, oh, that must be some sort of a bird. This first scream, if you're really close to it, it does not sound like an owl that you would expect. So now we've got a barred owl and a great horned owl within the same space. Don't normally have them together like that. I'll have screech owls and barred owls all the time. It's like they're best buds. But I think the great horned owl will actually try to eat the other ones. I could be wrong. Okay, I don't believe I've got any more markers. And we're already at, what, 6:30 in the morning? Yeah, so I'm just about to roll up on the bike. So there's not going to be much left there. So, okay. So just to kind of recap, a lot of knocks. This strange thing banging on the ground. And then we've got this rooster thing. To me, those are kind of the big takeaways. And of course, there's some howls in there that are a little bit unusual. Could be, you know, something other than a coyote. Oh, the wolf thing. I think that was in part 2. That wolf was really cool. And I've gotten one out there before. I'm assuming maybe it's the same one. So I think that we could have, it could be one of these, what do they call them? Kai wolves. I've seen it called a wolf odie. Whatever. It's some sort of a combination between a wolf and a coyote. So yeah, a lot of interesting stuff happening out in this location. And I will be going back again very soon, and we'll have more for you guys to listen to. Please don't forget, if you like this, to give me the old thumbs up and subscribe if you can. Share the video if you want to. Comment, tell me if it's good, if it's bad. I don't care, just something. That's it. Thanks, guys. See you on the next one.